Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, pull out the key insights, and, well, get you informed fast. Today, we're looking at something maybe a bit surprising, how ancient traditions, specifically astrology, can actually give us some really practical, usable insights for everyday life, sure, but also for those really big ideas.
It's definitely surprising to some, but yes, true. These cosmic patterns, they often mirror very human truths. Things about, working together, finding new ways to do things, even personal power.
Hmm.
It's about seeing these recurring themes.
Absolutely. So today, our deep dive is into some really interesting material from Tarot by High C. There's an entry called The Diplomat, The Transformer, and The Vine Bridge. And it gives us this great mix, right? It's got the astrology of the day for August 9th, 2025, but also this story time bit that really makes the themes come alive.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to pull out those nuggets of knowledge, of these seemingly opposite energies, diplomacy versus radical change, or, beauty and sheer force, how they can actually work together to create something new, something breakthrough. We're going to explore how zany ideas, as the source calls them, can find really elegant solutions.
And what it means to really step up, to stop playing small.
Exactly.
So get ready to see how the planets overhead might actually reflect the most effective partnerships down here, and why sometimes those ideas that sound completely impossible, well, they might just be the ones worth doing. Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay, so right off the bat, what's striking is how the source talks about this day, August 9th, as a time when power and beauty need not be enemies.
Hmm.
It suggests, curiosity gets rewarded. You might wake up with ideas that are, well, just plain zany.
Just plain zany. I like that, but it sounds almost contradictory, doesn't it? Zany ideas and elegant solutions. How does the source suggest we figure out which wild ideas are actually worth pursuing? Like, practically speaking, how do you turn an absurd notion into something real?
Right, that's the key question. The advice is pretty clear. Give every thought a fair hearing, but pare plans down to their most productive elements.
Hmm.
So it's not about shutting down the weird ideas immediately. It's about refining them, boiling them down, finding that workable core.
Okay, pare them down. Got it. So that's the general feeling for the day. But what about the evening? The source mentions a Pisces moon trine Venus plus Jupiter. Now, a trine is generally harmonious, right? And Pisces moon is intuitive, Venus is beauty, Jupiter is expansion. So that sounds, well, lovely, soft, beautiful, harmonious.
It really does sound blissful. Perfect for connection, art, maybe some quiet reflection. But, and this is important, the source adds a little warning. Don't get completely lost in the escape. Even paradise, it says, needs boundaries. It's a subtle point, but crucial. Grounding those beautiful visions, making them stick.
Bliss and boundaries. Interesting contrast. But the day also has this more intense energy. Mars trine Pluto RX.
Oh, yeah.
Mars is action, Pluto is deep transformation, and RX retrograde often means turning inward or a more calculated push. The source uses words like intense, calculated, determination, confidence, passion. This isn't gentle stuff.
No, definitely not. This is about making moves. It literally says, pitch a bold idea, define a boundary, make a move. And the big one, stop playing small. Because I love this phrase, this is power disguised as poise.
Wow.
It suggests people might really rally around common causes. A good time to speak truth that's maybe been simmering for a while.
Don't perform, don't apologize, just own it. That's quite a mandate. But with energy that intense, are there warnings, pitfalls? How do you make sure it's used well?
Good question. Yes, there's a very clear caveat. This energy can turn manipulative if used to control others instead of empowering ourselves. So it's about integrity.
Yeah.
Using that force for, genuine self-empowerment or positive group action, not just domination.
Right, okay. So that's the astrology. How does this play out in like a real situation? The source gives us this story, The Bridge of Living Vines. We meet Serenia Valtis, the diplomat, and Kale Draven, the transformer. And Serenia has this wild idea for a bridge made of living vines, calls it an absurd notion herself.
Yeah, and notice how that absurd notion connects right back to the zany ideas from the day's forecast. Serenia sees the beauty, the potential, save money, create work, weave nature into the city. But she knows ideas were cheap. The challenge was to make them live. That's the practical bit we were talking about.
Exactly. And then Kale, the transformer, shows up, described as all sharp lines and quiet fire. And when Serenia tells him about the bridge, his reaction is instant. It's bold, unlikely, which means it's worth doing.
Boom. That's the Mars trine Pluto RX energy right there, isn't it?
Totally. That stop playing small vibe.
Absolutely. And the story shows how they do it together.
Mhm.
Serenia uses her diplomatic skills, her grace, talking to the guilds, framing the vision beautifully. Kale, meanwhile, he's the transformer. He confronts the magistrates, uses that quiet fire, that directness, pushes back against the resistance.
So it's not one or the other, it's both, an alliance. And the story says every objection was met with precision, every question answered without apology. And by midday, the few skeptics had become a movement not of outrage, but of resolve.
hmm That shift from just being against something to being for something, unified purpose, it perfectly shows how that power and poise working together can shift the whole dynamic. Skepticism becomes unity. The Vine Bridge idea wasn't just a plan anymore, it was a banner under which they stood united. It shows how even a really out there idea, championed the right way, can spark real action.
And that scene at the end by the river, Kale says something like, "You could have done this without me."
Yeah.
And Serenia's reply is just perfect. "No, we needed both beauty and force to make it possible. Alone, each is just incomplete."
That nails it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right back to the day's theme. Power and beauty need not be enemies.
Exactly.
And that's really the heart of it. The seeds for the bridge were planted, sure, but more importantly, seeds were planted in the hearts of those who had finally stopped playing small.
Hmm.
It's this powerful example of how a bold, maybe unlikely idea, driven by that blend of diplomatic grace and transformative force, can actually create change.
Empower. Okay, so let's recap a bit. We've really explored this potent synergy between forces that seem opposite. We drew from the astrology for August 9th, 2025, remembering that power and beauty need not be enemies, and that Mars trine Pluto energy pushing us to stop playing small to own it.
Right. But also that softer Pisces moon trine Venus and Jupiter, reminding us that even, paradise needs its boundaries. Can't forget the grounding.
And the story of Serenia and Kale, the Vine Bridge, it just showed it so clearly, didn't it? Her grace, his force, beauty, and power, both absolutely needed to take that absurd notion and turn it into something real, something unifying.
I really highlighted that sweet spot where, intense determination finds an elegant solution.
So what this deep dive really suggests for you, listening, is that maybe your boldest ideas, even the ones that seem unlikely or, zany, they might just be waiting for the right combination of approaches, the right internal alliance, perhaps.
It's about figuring out which brainstorms really are worth acting on,
Yeah.
paring them down, like the source said, to the most productive bits, and maybe not apologizing for that truth that's been bubbling up inside.
Definitely. Stop apologizing. Own it.
So maybe something to reflect on is this. What seemingly impossible or zany idea have you been holding back? And what kind of unlikely alliance may be inside yourself between your own inner diplomat and transformer? What might help bring it to life?
Embracing both its beauty, its potential, but also having the force, the determination to make it happen.
And critically, what boundaries might you need, even around your most wonderful, blissful ideas? Boundaries to keep them grounded, keep them real, make them last. Something to think about.